Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I've got the G372 back on the bench. I did that carburetor mod, JB welding it. That's not the only thing that's going to fix this. I ended up, it continued to go lean. I ended up taking it back apart. Actually took the cylinder off, like put an exhaust on it, like just double checked that there wasn't any air leaks, cylinder-wise or boot-wise or anything like that. Still going lean. So what have we done so far? Let's talk about it today, and hopefully get it fixed. Welcome to Man Time. Alright, so Holzfforma G372, just a bag of problems. Man, if I could go back to past me and take away future me's advice from buying this saw, I would do that. Future me is not happy with this saw. Just problem after problem after problem. I ended up taking the cylinder off just to double check and make sure the boot was okay. There's really no way to get the boot off of there without taking the cylinder off. So I went ahead and did that. And the boot seems fine, you know, no air leaks around the cylinder or anything like that. Even did an exhaust mod while I had the muffler off. I figured, why not? But what I ended up doing was getting a used OEM Walbro HD12B. That's going to be the factory carb that the 372, 365 would have came with. And I'm going to do two things. I'm going to take this carb out. I'm going to drill out the remaining jet that I didn't JB weld, the one that actually goes past, you know, the adjustment screw. I'm going to drill that out like a couple sizes larger, because what ended up happening was I had to like basically unscrew the high jet adjustment all the way out. And so it's feeding as much gas I think as it can, and it's not enough. And I'm going to look inside and do a carb kit in this one, but see if this one also has that semi-fixed, you know, limited high jet, you know, in the factory one. So, that's what we're going to do. And I did take out the base gasket, so, I mean, we're going to have a couple things a little bit different, but right now it's still going lean. Yeah, so in addition to taking the cylinder off, doing the exhaust mod, I did put a decomp plug in there to ensure that the decomp wasn't leaking. You know, I've replaced out this, this vacuum hose here, or the vacuum line, and you know, just to make sure that wasn't the case, because the one on there was kind of spongy. So I did that. You know, of course, sprayed brake clean around as it was running and stuff. As far as I can tell, it is just the carb that is not happy. So we're going to fix that today, hopefully. Let me get this broke down off of here, and then get it apart, and then show you what I'm going to do with the internals of it. Yeah, one thing I did want to document here, the OEM carb, the factory settings on it. So let's just check where it was at. It had the limiters on there, so let's see where we're at for high. Turning it in. There's a quarter. Bugs are out. Okay, so from the factory, it looks like the high is going to be really close to like off. There is a quarter, half. There's one, but I mean it's, yeah. So I guess a factory setting on this at 3/4 is probably, you know, pretty close. And then on low, about one turn to 1 1/4. So yeah, pretty small adjustment on the high there. You're probably going from, you know, 3/4 to 1, or, you know, something like that. So I guess that would be pretty correct then on the non-factory one. Now let's see where I ended up with the high on this one. Holy smokes, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 turns out. That wasn't That wasn't going to be working for us, was it? And I hate to take those little adjusters off because now the hole is so small, but these were already just tore up. You know, I couldn't use these as an adjuster anyway. One thing, if you're buying a used one, you want to make sure to get these little tubes. You know, ask the guy to see a picture that, you know, or ask, you know, the seller that those are in there. I don't even know if these, yeah, they are still going to work with the bolts there. Yeah, this one, this one's actually missing. So this one just had like a plastic tube in there, and it's actually missing one on one side. So that was probably my fault. I'm sure I've got one of these little pieces of rubber plasticky stuff laying around here somewhere. Okay, let's dig in here and show you first what I'm going to do with the HLIC. I've also got a K10 HD kit for that one. So we will do the whole bit. I don't think I need this side though. Do I? Check out this screwdriver though, huh? Got that at the pawn shop. Threw it in as a freebie. I'm getting some other stuff. Oh, that works nice. Okay, so I've got both of the carbs broken down here. I've got the HLIC on the left and the Walbro on, well, Walbro on the left, HLIC on the right. So this one, they do have different configurations because the fixed high jet, semi-fixed, whatever, was over here. So there's the high jet there that goes through the adjustment, and then the semi-fixed there. On the Walbro, there is a semi-fixed also, but it is here, and then the, I guess, high jet going through there is there. And I did test it. I'll see if I can get it on camera here. Going through this one, some of it did come through the high jet down there, if you were able to see that. And then also, let's open up our high jet. So that was with it closed. So there's half and one. And then let's try this one over here. Yeah, and then it's also coming out of the high jet. So very similar. And so the Walbro does have a semi-fixed high jet, you know. So there we go. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to figure out what size hole that is, and then drill that sucker out. So I want to try that first, and in the meantime, I'm going to rebuild this Walbro carb, and that way if this doesn't work, when it doesn't work, we will have a backup plan. That one looks like a decent size. It's bigger, so we'll just give it a shot. Alright, I felt it kind of poke through there. Yeah. So I can see the drill bit through the high jet here. So, I think we'll be good to go there. I'm going to put this back together, throw it on the saw, and see if that doesn't resolve some of the issues. Alright, I've got the stock HLIC carb now that's been JB welded over the semi-fixed and now drilled out for the you know, high jet adjustment side there. I think I've got it 2 turns out on high and low just as a starting point. Again, no decomp anymore, so we'll just see if it runs. This is, you know, all basically experimental. I don't know that anybody else has done this. Not that I could find anyway, so we're just seeing as we go. I don't know if that was running or not. It's dry. I don't think it would start. Yeah. Started. Yeah, it's just not getting enough gas. Well, now it might be getting too much gas. One, two, one. Well, let's try it at 1.5 again, I guess. Okay, I think this experiment is not gonna work. Try turning that high way up. Well, lesson learned. Don't JB weld your semi-fixed high jet in your 372 carbs. Let's try this OEM carb. Alright, I've got the OEM carb on there. I accidentally just started it, so it does actually run with that one. I think I'm turning a quarter, turning a half on high and low. Let's see how it does. Alright, took a little bit of the, opened up the low, closed the low a little bit, quarter turn, and closed the high a little bit, quarter turn. See if it'll restart here. Well, that was the Holzfforma G372 XP. I'm done with this saw. Well, that will be concluding my experience with the G372 XP. Tried it, worked on it more than I actually got to run it. It's just not a good saw. I would not recommend this to anyone, past self, previous self, anybody. It's just not a good saw. It's still giving me a little bit of a indication of a crankcase leak where it's having trouble idling, and the new carb did actually fix it on the high end, but the low end is still out of whack. Yeah, I'm not going to recommend it. So if you're seeing this, my recommendation is get it junked out, something like the Johnson right here, and work on it, fix it. It's going to cost you about 10 hours labor and about $400, but well worth it, to have a lifetime type of tool. Anyways, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there. Have you some man time too. Ugh.